Hello, 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 Love Revolution beloveds. I am here with a real treat. John and I have known each other for probably about a year now. And every time we are in a networking group together, and every time he is in the Zoom room, there's a shift in the energy. What he does is so amazing with his business and how he shows up personally and professionally. He even has rooted in the title of his business. And so, with that, delighted to have you here, John, and excited to hear how you're infusing your life and your business with love. So, welcome.
Thanks. Thanks for having me. Excited to kind of get the ball rolling here.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, actually, tell us the name of your business because I think that's really important. And then, how does love show up in your business?
Sure. So basically rooted business consulting. It's interesting. Like, I mean, ultimately the name is there for a reason. We more or less help small businesses stay top of mind by loving on their lists of people that they know, like, and trust, by providing value and just coming from the heart and contribution. We've learned that if you do that consistently throughout the years, you can actually perform and generate a good business.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Oftentimes people will say to me, love is not a business strategy, and or love is weak and passive and it has nothing to do with profits.
Mm,
And what you do is you scientifically show that loving on people directly leads to profits.
basically, yeah.
So you might not use that languaging.
I try to fluff it up a little bit to kind of take, because, money, income, revenue traditionally comes with a salty connotation. You know what I mean? Like traditionally it's like a negative thing, um, yeah, so growth. I kind of, while it all means the same thing, right? I do try to holistically bring a scalability to people's businesses by love.
Mhm. A scalability to businesses by love.
Yeah.
Mean, y'all, isn't that what it's all about?
Mm.
I mean, truly, if 8 billion people are going to love 8 billion people, many of us are going to have to scale. Many of us are going to have to realize that we're not operating anywhere near our highest capacity.
Mhm.
And using your, and I don't want to call it system because that makes it kind of sound like it's sort of plug and play
That's some
because it's so,
mechanical. Yeah.
yeah, and mechanical. So I don't want to say that,
Yeah.
but using your expertise
Yeah.
and like what is the
A method.
your method.
Yeah.
Excellent, excellent. So either what is the like the low-hanging fruit that folks could do right now to start this process,
Sure.
or what is the one unhidden thing that nobody ever thinks about that the end users always like, oh, I appreciate that so much.
Yeah, so here's the thing. I can kind of just give all your audience members a rundown of how the whole method works.
Oh,
Okay.
good.
It's a
Okay.
very simple three-step process. Okay.
Wow.
Yeah, it's very simple. So one, you got to build it, feed it, and communicate with it. Build it, feed it, and communicate with it. So build it. So this takes a little bit of time. I deal with all sorts of business owners that have been in all, business for all schlues at different times. Sometimes they're brand new. I've been in business for a year or two. Sometimes they've been in business for 40 years. And I can tell you when I ask people about their lists, um, the answers I get are basically sometimes they're like, oh yeah, I have this CRM, I have all these people tagged and in various different types of lead generation processes and all that sort of thing and sources and whatnot. And then I talk to some people who are like, yeah, I have a list, but it's in a filing cabinet in my basement, you know? So the thing is, with your list, basically what you want to do is build a list as large as possible of people that know you, like you, and trust you. And when I say know you, like you, and trust you, there's a couple more caveats I have to that kind of phrase. But basically, anybody that you've essentially built a 5 to 6 hour window of trust with. So if you spent time with somebody, an aggregate of 5 to 6 hours of time with them over the course of your lifetime, you've likely psychologically done enough to capture trust from that person.
Wow.
Okay. So
Wow.
now it's identifying all those people originally to build your list.
Yeah.
Okay. And it's taking yourself through how many people are on my phone, going through your email kind of platform options and typing in A and all the A's that populate, going to your social media platforms. LinkedIn and social or Facebook still offer contact information as well. So in the event that you're trying to get a way to communicate with them, Facebook and LinkedIn still offer phone numbers, email addresses, and that sort of thing. And then public record to get people's mailing addresses, right? So again, so build your list. Anybody you've spent 5 to 6 hours of time with, or if you're walking down a grocery store aisle and you see one of these potential people coming your way, are you gonna turn your head so that they can't lock eyes and you can't make eye contact with them and you kind of forget about it? Or are you gonna be like, man, I know that person looks super familiar. I may not remember their name, but I know them enough. There's something there. I'm gonna
Yes.
wave instead of turning my head, right? If you wave, they can potentially go into your list, okay? So again, understanding anybody that you've had a good experience with, that you want to work with, that you want to help, that you love on, that you've probably spent 5 to 6 hours of time with already, right? And then that could be anybody, not only your current past clients or your direct immediate family members, right? Or friends. It could be who do you pay for service? Like any service providers, that I'm
Yeah.
like, who does your hair? It's likely you go to somebody that does your hair that you've spent probably more than 5 to 6 hours of time with over the course of your
I
life,
sure
right?
am.
Those people go into your list because you
Yeah.
provide with them, and just try to get a little reciprocation going on, right? So again, build it. The next step is to understand that if you appropriately communicate with them consistently throughout the year, that you're going to understand that this returns at some sort of percentage, right? Now, our numbers, our magic numbers that we've been kind of testing for about a decade now is about 1 in 10. For our clients, for every 10 people in their list, they normally see one conversion or transaction. Now we're getting into like the negative stuff, right? Kind of like not the super lovey stuff, but business, right? This is
Yeah,
what I'm in
exactly.
business for is
Exactly. The one in
conversion. I
10
want to
sounds
do
great.
business, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So for every 10 people in your list, have this kind of trigger. It's like, oh man, okay, this is going to scale. How do I add 10 more people this month so I do another deal next year?
Right.
Right? So
Right.
build it, feed your list.
Yeah.
Mindset, it scales. I want as many people that I know, like, and trust, not
Yeah.
cold people that I don't want to do business with. Don't even bother with them, right? This is simply database loving on your people.
Yeah.
Feed it. Add 10 more people to this list. Or if I don't know 10 people, two or three, at least get some sort of reoccurring time block in your calendar that's going to trigger you to add somebody to your list. Okay.
Yes.
All
Yes.
right. And then the last phase is how the heck am I supposed to communicate with it? What am I supposed to be saying to these people 4 or 5, potentially 6 times per month that I'm not going to spam them? They're not going to like hate me. And I'm actually going to come from contribution and provide them with value. Right. So therefore, if they ever have a life change, or if they know somebody going through a life change,
Mm-hmm.
by me placing my name, brand, and face in front of them with valuable centric information every single month, multiple times per month, I've essentially programmed to think of me first.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So then it's just communicate with them. And just with communication in today's world, this has been obviously an evolution of process evolution. You talked to me about my model 20 years ago, and it could have been just half the efforts. Okay. Because
Mm.
there's so many people out there that are competing for our attention, are trying to buy our time. Right?
Wow.
So if you were talking to me 20 years prior, I would say it's 33 times of your name, brand, and face should reap you 1 in 10. Okay. But now, fast forward to 2026, right? We now see somewhere in the ballpark of 10 to 15,000 impressions every single day. So there's a lot of noise to compete with,
Wow.
right? So in order to land 33 impressions of your name, brand, and face, we have to put in about double the effort. So we have to attempt it 60 times throughout the year, right? In order to make those 33 impressions, so you psychologically capture and retain the mind share of them to think of you first, right? So what do I say to them 4, 5, 6 times per month in order to land half the effort, right? So just know people prefer to be communicated with one version versus the next. 20 years ago, email was something new, right? So it's like, oh, this is shiny, this is new, and I'm
Yeah.
gonna get engaged with it. But now understand that people have learned to be able to shut it off. You know
Mm.
what I mean? So I talk to businesses a lot and they're like, oh yeah, I have a great digital campaign going. I'm like, that's great, but do you understand that it's likely half your audience is just not getting your touches because they don't like that communication. Me personally, I don't care who you are, what you're sending to me via email. You could have the best brand. You could be giving me all sorts of stuff for free.
Mhm.
However, personality, behavioral profile style, I am just super highly addicted to a zero inbox. That's it. You know what I mean? That's my behavioral profile. So
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
whoever's sending me digital touches, I'm basically unsubscribing or they're not touching me, right?
Yeah.
So to combat behavioral profiles like Silly John, you got to come from what we call air, land, and sea. Okay. So some
Oh,
people love digital stuff. Some people love to kind of get promotional stuff and click on things and to kind of e-commerce shop and that sort of thing, whatever it might be.
yeah.
Some people love receiving video. So I would recommend doing some sort of educational based video to send your clients once a month at least.
Mhm.
How do I come up with that content? Well, just put yourself in a consumer's kind of
That's right.
situation where you're very naive to your audience or to your industry, but you have all sorts of questions. Take
Mhm.
an hour, time block an hour, write as many questions that you could have with being a naive consumer. Don't answer them. Just write question after question. By that hour, by the time that hour is over, you likely have 20, 30, 40 questions. Right there is probably 3, 4, 5 years worth of content that you can reverse engineer to send to your audience,
There
right?
you go. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, so air, land, and sea. So email, digital touches, social media is probably included in that. And then printed pieces. I know a lot of small businesses are very intimidated by the cost of direct mail because it comes with some sort of, cost and expense. And yet I can tell you it definitely returns still. So potentially picking up a piece or two a month, one postcard, a handwritten note or something. Those go super far, especially if you pour your heart. Hey, just notice you've been doing this. Just wanted to kind of congratulate you and kind of, just
Yeah.
commend you on your hard work. You're doing great. Keep it up. Just
Wow.
something of love. You know what I mean?
Wow.
And then events. So face to face.
Uh,
So not only are you getting people that love the digital stuff, people that like things in their hands tangible, but now
yeah.
for the extroverted people, face to face events. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Right? So yeah, so just keeping those types of media methods in mind when people how they want to receive it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And
Yeah.
just kind of finding a way that you can kind of put 4 or 5 of those together each month.
Yeah.
And then
That is
again, that reads you
absolutely,
1 in 10,
absolutely
just
beautiful.
providing love and value.
So one of my Leading with Love client, it's actually a couple. They came to me and said, "Are you willing to do our premarital counseling?" And I was so honored. I was like, "Yeah, absolutely." And so there's been a couple of things that we've talked about, but one of the things is your love language. So it's not how do you show love, it's how do you
Mhm.
receive love. And
Yep.
when we receive love in the way we want to receive it, then our love cup is full, and then we can, pour from the overflow. So
Yep.
like my love language is one of them is acts of service. And my husband gets up at 5 every morning. I get up at 5:30. When my alarm goes off at 5:30, I look over and I have a drink and my breakfast sitting on my bedside table every single morning at 5:30. Now he could bring me a dozen roses every day, gifts. And I would be like, sir, that's not helping. And so you are the love language of marketing. You are the love
Basically.
language,
Yeah.
and so like the way that you built that out. So like let's not take Silly John, you personally necessarily, but let's take Silly John. Silly John does not like emails because he
Right.
wants a zero email box. Silly John is kind of introverted, and also we can't do an event a month every single month for 12 months so I can, love on John.
Uh-huh.
And if I have his address, great, and I can mail him something, but I can't necessarily authentically mail him 5 pieces a month,
Hmm.
handwritten or otherwise. So how do I reach John?
Yep. So great. So basically what we do is again, our we have, I mean, our depending on where somebody is in their business, like sometimes they're like, John, 60 touches. I never sent my database anything. Like 60 touches per year or 4 or 5 per month. Like sounds like I'm going from 0 to 100 miles per hour in a second. You know what I mean? Like that sounds like a lot. It's overwhelming. It's a bit more than I kind of expected. So one, you can always ramp up the media or the content. You know what I mean? If it does, if that feels like it's just a bit too much, um, then yeah, maybe just start off with a couple smaller digital touches and work and then build and ramp up the amount of volume of your content, as time goes. 6 months later, maybe add a third email or a printed piece, you know. And then not only that, when you said I don't, so our method currently is our 60 touch system is our bread and butter, our standard model,
Okay.
basically. Okay, so that's traditionally what, and we have some that are basically 24 all the way up to like 180, where
Mhm.
somebody doesn't even have to touch any. It's all kind of automated for them and that sort of thing. But our bread and butter, our main standard package is our most popular, and that's 60 touches. Okay. And what that consists of is 3 emails per month, one direct mail piece per month, and then quarterly promotional items and quarterly events.
Ah, okay.
Okay. All right. So not only that, the other thing is John, this probably sounds like an expense, right? All this sounds like a lot of money, right? I got to pay somebody to potentially help me create the content. I got to or create the content. I have to put together. I have to be a graphic designer. I have to send money stuff to the printer and all that stuff, right? To the point where there's time, energy, and expenses involved, right?
Right.
Just know by loving on your people
There
and
you
people in your
go.
community.
Yes.
So, for example, like say I help people create what I call brand ambassador programs. Okay.
Ah,
So say your specific program, say you had outside vendors that you really relied on. So again, I think I failed to kind of mention this, but a lot of our clients are primarily in the real estate space, right? So we help a lot of
mhm.
realtors and brokers and teams and that sort of thing. But I'll use them as an example. So say that real estate agent had a lender or a home inspector or a plumber or a roofer that they constantly are just sending a lot of business to, tons and tons of referrals. Well, just know that with all these marketing expenses that your database program may accrue, you can have them offset by partnering with all those small vendors in your world, right? So
Mhm.
one, you're offering them exposure. You have a 60 touch program. Your brand is being exposed to your audience 4 or 5 times per month, right? But now let's bring in the roofer, right? So the roofer is now going to give me X amount of money per month to be
Mhm.
added to all the content that's going out to my database. So that
Wow.
roofer gives you X amount of money to have their logo, their name, and maybe a small little blurb added to the stuff that you're already sending out, right?
Wow.
You get 4, 5, 6 kind of vendor partners, and
Yeah.
now all your expenses are kind of
Yeah.
eliminated,
Yeah.
right? And
Plus
not only
the
that, you're
roofer,
helping all those other small businesses too.
exactly.
Yeah.
And it's true for the real estate agent and broker, but it's also true for the roofer. So
Yep.
then the
Yeah.
roofer can go, hey, I can go to, real estate agent A,
Yeah.
broker A, and then I can go to this other company. They also have real estate. And then I
To be
can
tapped into all those databases,
say,
and now their referral program is blown
love,
up, and
love.
everybody's helping each
That's
other.
interconnection.
Yeah.
That's how ultimately 8 billion people live on 8 billion people.
Mm.
Really, what you're doing. Absolutely amazing. When you talk about this, John, your face like
Mhm.
beams. Like that, especially that last piece. You love connecting people. It's
It's
why
it's
I
just a
do
really
it so
cool thing.
often.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
a magical thing almost, especially because
Yes.
it becomes like a really tight-knit family.
Yeah.
Like that said, I've been running this type of thing now for about, like, I don't know what I said, but about a decade. The one of the teams that I manage, they have about 25 small local businesses that contribute to that program of one team.
Okay.
Those businesses have been around, I think, for about 7 or 8 years. So the retention of it is incredible because there's so much value. It's such an affordable thing, and it helps everybody.
Yeah.
So like it's just a great thing to be part of. It
Yeah.
it, it You really feel a sense of community, the love, and then not only that, but ultimately everybody's businesses are growing too.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. 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 And I'm sure there are probably, people in every industry that aren't, on the up and up. However, it does seem like real estate agents, they have so much to lose if they're not. And so like that, like that you're oftentimes using a real estate agent to buy what for many people is their biggest, largest asset. And so if that's the apex of trust,
Right.
so it's not the roofer who the roofer may or may not show up. The
Sure.
roofer may take my money, and then if I tell my next door neighbor, it's not really going to hurt them all that much. But if a real estate agent has a misstep,
Yep.
which means their integrity to include them on these things, I don't know, it's like added credibility.
Hmm.
Is that
Yeah,
right? Is that
absolutely.
okay?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay.
I would say
Yeah.
that definitely helps for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially if you have very familiar businesses in there. It's like, oh, they work with so and so. Well, they're to your point, you have street cred or you have social proof, you know what I mean?
Yes.
That they're
Yeah.
a viable
Yeah.
relationship to kind of start, or be in touch with, you know what I mean? For
Wow.
sure. Yeah.
Wow. Wow. Are any of the touches encouraged to be either like commenting on LinkedIn or a LinkedIn message or commenting on Facebook or any of those part
Like
of the
so like funnels almost like lead magnets or something, maybe like
No,
that.
no, no. Just like if I want to intentionally love on people on my list
Oh, gotcha.
and
Oh,
and
to
I'm
social media part of
like
that?
yeah, like you say like to calendar other things to block
Yep.
out a period of time. Could
Yep.
I block out an hour a week and just kind of go down my LinkedIn list and love on them?
Oh yeah, absolutely. So here's the thing. Again, I would say it's probably a little bit of a different um department. Okay. So what we're talking about is, in my opinion, there's four departments in business. You have marketing, sales, operations, and finance.
Mm,
For what that's worth, I don't know if everybody else agrees with me, but marketing, sales, operation, and finance. So marketing is attract. You're going to
yes,
attract business into it.
yes,
Sales, you're going to convert it. I think maybe that might be more of a sales function
gotcha,
because you're outbound messaging versus attracting people to kind of reach out to you.
gotcha,
So
gotcha,
inbound kind of messaging
gotcha.
versus, does that make sense?
Yes,
But
love
that
it.
said, there's nothing wrong with that type of touch. So
Yeah.
yeah, social media is part of your touch program and should be included in like, and especially in today's world, everybody should be posting probably at least once, maybe twice a week minimum, you know what I mean, to their various platforms. But just know that's in today's world, that's more or less an electronic digital touch.
Hmm.
Okay.
Hmm.
Um, with the other stuff that I mentioned, the email, the direct mail, the events, and the promotional items or the items that stick is really the point of that. So
Okay.
we're doing everything in our power to place impressions of our brand, name, brand, and face 60 times throughout the year. Just know with the things that stick, refrigerator magnets and that sort of thing, now they're seeing your name, brand, and face multiple times per day.
Hmm.
Right. Okay.
Yes.
That is more of a foundation, okay,
Gotcha.
marketing. That's the
Yep.
foundational marketing. Everything else, in my opinion, so when you get into mass media, social media, billboards, radio, that sort of thing, it's a more of an amplifier of your database.
Hmm.
Does that make sense? So let me
Perfect. Yes.
so you have the database
Yes.
plan in place, then go to social media and make those additional digital touches.
Yes.
But you have to have that other stuff foundationally in place
It has to
first.
be in place first. Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally makes
It
sense.
basically
Yeah.
what you're doing at that point is making yourself omnipresent.
Yeah. Well, you when you mentioned the magnet, I
Mm.
totally was thinking about my refrigerator,
Yeah.
and I have a magnet on the side
Yeah.
from a are they electrical or plumbing? See, I don't even know.
Mm.
But it says if it's on your refrigerator when we get there, you get 10% off.
Well, look at that.
And so, I
Great
haven't
way to
used them in like
leave it
5 years.
there.
But honey,
Yeah.
I'm not taking that magnet
That's
off
right.
because if I need
Great
them,
marketing.
that's who I'm going to call. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. John, you are a love and a light. How can people get in touch with you?
Sure. Yeah, you just visit rootedbc.com. Sounds good.
Okay,
Just shoot me an
beautiful.
email at john@rootedbc.com.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Okay, Love Revolution beloveds. Y'all reach out to John. I love, love, love the content in this. And I love the way that you love on others so well. So thanks, John, for being
Yeah.
amazing.
Hey, thanks for having me.
All right. Talk soon, beloveds. Bye bye.